God of War released lately, but you already know it, everyone knows it. It's God of War, homie. The game is amazing, but what seemed interesting to me, it was how the team of Santa Monica handled the character of Odin. By the descriptions of the previous God of War, I expected Odin to be a ruthless god, like the one we saw in God of War 3 in Zeus. But when Odin first revealed himself in Ragnarok, I saw a god of cunningness, of vicious diplomacy, the one who favors any decision, any path for himself. Instead of seeing a god that would blow up Kratos' house and violently grab Atreus as a prisoner to force him to help Odin survive Ragnarok, he knocked on the door. It came in to put order in class between two children. In the entirety of God of War Ragnarok, Odin resembles an old politician, a mobster boss. Odin in God of War is a perfect example that not all tyrants are blatantly evil. In this game, the king of the gods is not an arrogant god, but a politician, a diplomatic god that uses his charisma and strategy to maintain control instead of using brute force. A more realistic version of what a king that remains in power does. In the entire game, we see Odin justifying his actions, putting blame on anyone but himself, making empty promises, and convinces everyone that everything he does is for everyone's best interest, good or bad. Mostly bad. We don't see a god who actively angers Kratos through arrogant action, but a god who uses cunningness and manipulation tactics to get what he wants. Instead of using physical violence, he mostly avoids if necessary. When we first see Odin, he doesn't kick the door all angry and beats Kratos to a pulp. He instead knocks and comes in Kratos' house like a Jehovah's Witness, about to spit some fire about Jesus Christ. It was a surprise. Odin uses his cunning diplomacy to negotiate between two brutes, and when he doesn't get what he wants, then he uses his bodyguard without actually fighting himself. We see how much Odin manipulates people effectively by looking at Thor, the son of Odin, being treated more as a puppet than his son. His politician-like nature leads him to get what he wants desperately, learning the truth of creation, and to avoid his death, he gets into manipulative Machiavellian measures. He uses his own family as puppets for his goal. Throughout the whole game, Odin undermines Thor by calling him stupid since he was a child. He tells his own son not to think, and Thor takes it to heart by making him do whatever he wants. Thor shows all signs of how childhood trauma hurts an adult even when he is one of the most strongest beings ever. Emotional and psychological attacks can traumatize a child for life. When that child grows up, that trauma can revert that child back when confronting the abuser. Odin traumatized his own child just to use him for his cause, even if it means that Thor may become an empty shell of a person and a slave to his father's dreams. As long as the job gets done, he doesn't care. Even Odin's words say that manipulation better when he called Thor's sons Magni and Modi useless and justifying Kratos for killing them in front of Thor. It gets crazy. It is when we see the full limit of what Odin's diplomacy does to people that surround him that we understand why Thor is like this. Once Kratos makes Thor realize through respect that he doesn't have to be Odin's puppet and stands up for himself, not wanting to be treated as a tool anymore, Odin kills him. The second he realizes he can't use Thor anymore for his plans. Seeing Odin treating his son like that makes you like Kratos more. Kratos does not usually give praise to Atreus, but when he does, it hits hard because you can genuinely feel that Kratos wants his son to be happy and strong. Because Kratos accepted the fact that his own ego doesn't matter when he had the duty to raise his son into a good human being. But Odin is so blinded by his own ego that he puts it above his own son, to the point that he uses Thor and all the others around him as tools. His diplomatic approach failed, and under the mask of a politician god, there was a scared man with a failed plan, and his failed diplomacy was the one that got him killed. All the things that he had done, all these people that he sacrificed under Mjolnir, was for nothing. For all the portrayals of Odins we see in modern media, this one might be the perfect example of what a modern god will be like. An old, experienced politician god, struggling to control everything around him to achieve his goal, through manipulation, vicious diplomacy, and treachery. Not this dumb Disney Mickey Mouse character. That's what I want to say. See ya, love ya.